Now, in other hip hop news, did you like my voice on that? Was I very like?
Yeah, it sounded
you
like
know?
the news anchor from
There you
SpongeBob.
go. There you Now, another hip hop news. Will Smith Xavier dropped an album. Now, I'm not what's the opposite of not being like I'm not a f- I'm a fan of the old niggas doing the music.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I'm a fan of the old niggas doing the music is because I heard the LL Cool J album last year. Now LL Cool J, and let me just play a song
Oh
for
yeah.
reference of what LL Cool J, how busy he was getting on
Hey.
his album last year.
Y'all need a new team like a girl with a BBL need new jeans. It's in my DNA to let them play in the enclave, percolate while songs play. Andre the Giant, 3,000 ways, make a Obey. I'm seasoned with it. Floor seats, who need ticket? For bard superhero, word to Swiss beats, we rep like X-Men, Temptation, Darkman, or Malcolm. Different moves, gifted dudes. You pick up on the jewels if you're shrewd. On the first stream, had them glued. Dominate the new era in my Yankee fitted. Being prodigious with the lyrics brings digits. Told you I was postmodern, you don't see that. Asking where the weed at. Eliminate the mids when the speakers giving feedback. That's based on my rep. You in trouble if you step, believe that. Flash go rollies on niggas that don't know me. They know what time it is. Better watch your six. Grandpops was a mason. My homie moved
Grandpops was a mason. Okay.
Talk about servicing your audience,
There you go.
but still being contemporary and staying relevant.
There you go.
Like, one thing I loved about the LL Cool J album, it didn't sound like he was trying to be a rapper in 2024.
Right.
It sounded like he was being LL Cool J
in
rapping over,
2024.
being LL Cool J in 2024.
2024.
This sounded like, I believe that song was produced by Swiss Beats, but it sounded like something straight out of A Tribe Called Quest. It was like who you would expect, or what you would expect a LL Cool J album to sound like. You're not expecting LL Cool J to be rapping over some 2024 Detroit beats,
right?
Because that's not the type of rapper that he is. So I love that he still serviced his fan base by giving him that. You can even tell from the scratches, the record scratches, that he was remaining who he was, but he's just showing now that he is still very engaged with his pen. Very much so in the studio still. So skills on par.
So shout out to LL Cool J.
Oh yeah, shout out LL
for his album last year, one of the best albums to be released.
Right.
The Force.
Right, vet or not.
Last year. So
sizzling back there.
Sizzling. Some was
Ooh, bacon on the stove.
So Will Smith.
He did the opposite. He did do the opposite for me. He looked like he was trying to be Will Smith reincarnated into the year 2025 and slowly trying to figure out, like, oh, this is what people are doing now. Okay, I guess I'll do that. I guess I'll hang out the car and do my rapper hands, and I have to cuss now. All right, fuck, bitch, shit. Like, it just didn't seem like Will Smith. It really just seemed like he was playing a part. Whether or not his rapping ability was good or not, I just couldn't buy into the image.
Album was not good because
it wasn't bad.
It was not good.
It wasn't bad.
It's not good.
I enjoyed the album. There are at least 2 to 3 songs that I actually did add to my playlist and could see myself going back to relatively consistently. The only issue I really did have with the album was I'm not sure who is this for? Like, the beats are for teenagers, but the rapping was for the 80s.
Old people.
And I was just like, you're servicing 2 different crowds, one of which I don't even think you have.
Right.
I don't think no 16-year-old was like, oh, Will Smith's dropping, I'm about to go check that out. But then the people in your demographic that you should be servicing, they're probably listening to these beats like, this is not what I want to hear right now. So I was just a little bit confused, and it was kind of a little bit in the opposite direction of what I was expecting the Will Smith album to sound like after I saw him do his performance.
I thought you were going to say after he slapped Chris Rock.
Well, this is what I expected it to sound like after he slapped Chris Rock. But then he started doing press runs and book releases.
And red table talks.
He wanted to go to church. So I was expecting a little bit different. But He did what was the award show he did his performance on? And
BET Awards.
when he did his BET Awards performance, by God, that was terrible. And I was expecting that album to be kind of in that realm.
I mean, it was to me. Well, the end of it or whatever. I don't know. Some of it was in that realm.
No. I was happy to see that Jaden Smith did make his way onto the album.
Work of art.
Unfortunately,
track 13.
I did not like the song. To me, it did kind of just sound like something that maybe Jaden had on his laptop that his dad had access to, and he was like, "Oh, let me pull this file." Oh, Jaden, yeah, pull this file. But then you notice you don't see Willow.
Right.
You notice you don't see
She didn't
Willow.
make the studio.
She did not. Yeah, she did not make the studio time. But based on a true story about Will Smith, the two songs that I did like are "You Looking for Me" and "Hard Times," featuring was it Tiana Taylor? Tiana Taylor.
That song wasn't bad, but
The songs weren't bad. It's just like I said, who is it for? It's just not something I can like realistically see myself coming back to listen to. Those two songs were a stretch on themselves. And like we said in the beginning, if you haven't, please do, in order to save some type of memory of Will Smith as a rapper, please go listen to his freestyle. That was much better than the album. Much better than the album.
So don't listen to the nigga's whole full body of work.
No, I'm not going to lie.
To
I'm not going to lie to y'all. And I'm not going to also lie when I say this. I prefer when he didn't cuss. I think the music was low-key better when he didn't cuss. This new cussing Will Smith, it just don't seem right.
And he said the two people I called before the album was Jay-Z and Kendrick, and they both said be true to yourself.
Well, was he saying he wanted to cuss the whole time? This is what I wanted to do. Well, if you would have did that, you probably wouldn't have made it. This is for the guy who said 2010, 2013, didn't think we knew Will Smith could rap. What did you think about this album?
Exactly, and this is exactly what we were saying in 2024 and now in 2025. The times have just passed him when it comes to musically. Like, everybody can't be LL Cool J.
Right, and that's exactly. LL Cool J is to say that this is not an age thing.
Right. This is not an age thing.
It's not an age thing. It's a Will Smith thing at this point. It's a Will Smith thing. Because, even thinking back on it, I don't know if you remember, Will Smith did a remix of Jaden Smith's Batman from 2016. Remember when that song was really hot at that time?
I remember he did a remix of Icon.
Was it Icon?
Yeah, Icon.
Icon? Terrible.
Everybody liked that, though.
He rapped exactly the same. So if y'all like that, I don't understand why y'all wouldn't like this. So for everybody that liked that Will Smith Icon 2018 remix, you will love this album. The beat's slightly different though. A little hard. But I'm just a little confused. Let me know.
Throw it in the dumpster.
Oh, okay. I didn't see all that.
Throw it in the dumpster.
Let me know what your favorite track was off that Will Smith album.
You do not need that. You're never going back to that.
Well, I know. No, I didn't say that.
You're never doing anything with that.
I didn't need a Drake in. Damn. I didn't need that either, though. People do what they want at this point, so it is what it is.
Who's calling Muff?
Who's calling Muff? Is it Stacy? Is it she? My Shayla. My Shayla. Hey,
Who the hell was on that Drake album?
I don't know who that was. I'm really thinking hard. I have an image of him in the club doing this. But other than that, I can't. Let us know down in the comments who was on that Drake joint album, I guess. I guess.
Yo, I can't with you, bro. I can't. SiR dropped a deluxe album
for Heavy
Deluxe. The Light. So let me just play track 2 real quick on this record to intro us into this topic.
Let's pick up where we left off. What's on your mind?
Oh, something's holding me back. Something's holding me back.
New SiR on your DSPs right now.
Something's holding me back.
Heavy Deluxe. The Light.
Something's holding me back.
Hey.
Maybe baby is all my new friends. Now I'm stuck here, out of luck here, barely free.
I thoroughly enjoyed this deluxe from Sir. It made me think that, you know, Leon Thomas Mutt was my R&B album of the year last year. No Worries did drop as well. So I feel like Sir got kind of lost in the spotlight, but I gave that Sir album last year the attention that it needed. I just did not like Sir in this particular sound. Sir, with his last album, and let me get the name of it because it was one of my favorite albums. It made my TDE top 20 when it comes to albums that I liked.
Summer?
Chasing Summer,
Chasing
yes.
Summer was amazing.
Before Heavy.
2019.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Heavy was last year. So Chasing Summer, to me, is Sir's best album, but it had a different sound that Heavy had. Heavy was more of hip hop drums, guitar type of Sir. It was more not acoustic, but it was more of a contemporary guitar sound and hip hop elements, more so than Chasing Summers being saxophone, being jazzy, being R&B, more R&B.
Right, yeah, Jill Scott on that album.
There you go. Sabrina Claudio.
Khadijah Bonet.
There you go.
That was a great album.
Very great album.
John Redcorn.
So,
Kendrick was on the album too.
I gotta fall back. Anyway, Heavy.
His best album.
Yeah, you like November better, but
Of course.
Chasing Summer to me is his best album. But Heavy to me wasn't a bad album. It was just a sound that I just didn't enjoy as much as I enjoyed the Chasing Summer sound from Sir, but this was still great quality music, and this deluxe reminded me. Now, he did do the same thing that SZA did with her SOS Deluxe, where you had disc 1, where you had the deluxe songs in the beginning of the album, and then you had the album come after, which allowed me to flow into the album as well, just to remember some of the songs that I loved from last year. So that was great. What did you think about the deluxe album?
I thought the deluxe album was great, and I'm really I'm loving what deluxes are turning into. There is a lot of music constantly, and like you mentioned, 2024 was a very hectic year. There was a lot going on between the rap battle. No Worries came out of retirement, was dropping albums.
Right.
So there was a lot going on, and some music may have got kind of lost in that. And like you did mention, I did give that Sir album, Heavy, I gave it his fair listen.
Right.
There are multiple songs from No Evil to Nothing Even Matters and Life is Good, and Ricky's song.
And I Love You. That
Yeah.
track is amazing to me.
I thought it was a great album, but the only thing I kept thinking was, man, I really enjoyed Chasing Summer. Man, I loved November, and Heavy just wasn't that for me. I agree. Chasing Summer is a great album, but my favorite Sir album is November. I think November is the classic album. I think Chasing Summer is a classic album as well, and I just wasn't getting that from Heavy. But still, there were a lot of great songs on that album. It was a great project, but just with the amount of music last year, it just wasn't my favorite project. I wasn't going back to it as much. But I'm glad that TDE is going this route with putting the deluxes in the beginning of the album, because it really did just give me that chance to flow back into the project instead of starting at the end. So I really did have a chance to go back and listen to a few songs that I haven't heard in a while, because like we've talked about, there's a lot of music. I'm not always going back to this. So I had a chance to listen to Ricky's song again today, and this was really a great album, and it will be getting some replay this year, especially since music is a little bit slow so far.
1000%. I absolutely love this. Shout out to Sir for releasing the deluxe, and I like the slow, like you said, just the flow into the album. Great quality music, gotta love it. Shout out to TD.
Right, and we can't talk about a Sir Deluxe and not talk about any of the deluxe songs. We only talked about the songs that we already liked. So I think personally, I would go as far to say a nearly flawless 6-piece that he gave us, essentially. Sin Again and Out of My Hands were the two of my favorite songs from that little 6-piece that he gave us. But overall, great music.
Yeah, I would say he went 5 out of 6. I have to really re-listen to the first track, but I don't believe I like the first track.
I agree with you. I didn't really like the first track and Lose It All, number 4.
Yeah,
those are my two little shaky ones.
Okay.
But other than that, No Good, Out of My Hands, and Sin Again were top notch for me.
Right. Again, I don't want to say that this was more of the SiR's sound that we like, but
it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Like
with elements of what he did with his project.
We'll just keep it a buck. Like we said, I enjoyed these 6 songs nearly more than I enjoyed the entire album. Because going through the album, it was, okay, 2 songs here.
Right.
Okay, skip. 3 songs, skip. 4 songs. But this was just 6 songs that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Right.
And in the sound of SiR that I liked the most. Mm-hmm. So, shout out to the Deluxe. I'll be going back to this heavy delight.
Shout out to the Deluxe. All right, Xavier. This is our last topic, I believe.
You sure you want to do this?
Are you sure you want to do this?
Are you sure you want to do this?
Are you sure you want to do this?
Cayman.
I released a TikTok recently where, I love everyday hip hop. I love the platform we have here on Black Ambition Media. And I'm always going to apply those that I love in the game. And Wale, to me, doesn't get his just due. He also does complain a lot that he doesn't get his just due.
Oh, my God. I forgot. That's one of the main gripes that I had with Wale back in the day. He be complaining a lot. Nick, just get in the booth. Stop.
So,
dang, why you bring that up?
I released a TikTok, and a lot of people commented on here where I said Wale was the 4th best rapper of this generation.
Wiz Khalifa. Wale is probably the 4th best rapper of this era. If y'all really want to talk about it and really want to really get deep into it, Wale is probably, when it comes to everything, discography, hits, all that shit, it goes Kendrick, Drake, Cole, Wale.
What the hell Wale got out
Wale!
Besides the album About Nothing? What else are you like, oh my God, I'm so glad Wale dropped this. Hip-hop would never be the same without this.
It's not about hip-hop never being the same.
What did Wale give us besides the album About Nothing?
I said, is he not number 4?
No, Wiz Khalifa is. I'm taking Wiz over Wale.
No, you're not. That's a horrible take.
What did Wale give us besides the album About Nothing?
All these albums are nice. All these the Ambition album is great. The Gifted album is great in 2013. It was nice, though.
I am picking Big Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and... Yeah. I'm picking Wiz Khalifa 10 times out of 20.
Wale is the 4th best rapper of this generation.
Xavier had this crazy face.
That's blasphemous.
On his face. But it's really not blasphemous, so we decided...
That's blasphemous.
...to do a battle. Wale versus who Xavier has nominated as the 4th best person of this generation, right?
Okay, I would like to be clear. I would like to be clear with my selection before we continue on.
Okay.
Yes, I do believe that you calling Wale the 4th best rapper of this generation is a blasphemous take.
How?
Because there are rappers within that same time frame who have been maybe not as consistent, because that is one of the biggest marks, biggest
Wale.
points that I will give to Wale.
Right.
He is one of the most consistent rappers I've ever seen as far as mixtapes, singles, and albums. He knows what he is, and I love poetry. We love poetry. But as far as overall influence and contribution to hip hop, there have been other rappers within that 2010, 2015 time frame who have been perceived as a better rapper.
Yeah, but the problem
we're not even talking about him in this conversation, but we've already talked about him before. If we're keeping it a buck, Mac Miller is better than both A$AP Rocky and Wale. dare I say, even has more classic albums than both of them.
But the
Posthumous or not.
The problem is we're talking about 2025, and we're talking about the
I was gonna say,
consistency.
and
So,
I'll let you slide with that, even though we only got Ruby Rosary from ASAP as of late.
Right.
But yes, I would go as far to say ASAP Rocky not only has been more influential to hip hop culture, and fashion culture than Wale, but I would go as far to say he has better albums, better music.
So go ahead and state your case. What better music, better albums are you saying?
I'll start off with Range. We'll go with Range
Okay.
first.
Okay.
ASAP Rocky has a song with no other than Selena Gomez, one of the highest rating, top charting songs of, I believe, 2015, was it? 2015, Good For You. That song was everywhere. So we're just talking about Range. Now, did ASAP Rocky play the biggest part in that song? No. But he was on that song, which I know is a big point that you're going to try to throw around during this conversation. He was on that song. So Good For You featuring ASAP Rocky, That Alone, just shows his range. But just going as far as we gonna go back to the beginning with it. We got songs like Goldie. We got songs like M's featuring Lil Wayne. We got even songs like Purity featuring Frank Ocean. And that's another thing as well. ASAP Rocky has a lot of notable features throughout his entire career, from Lil Uzi Vert, Playboi Carti, Lil Wayne, Frank Ocean. And when he is on a song with another person, he is holding his own. He is not being overshadowed, or dare I say washed, on his own song. That is always my biggest issue when artists have a lot of features or do a lot of features is, okay, but if it's your song, I'm expecting you to be the best. Don't go on here and give me music where you're getting washed. And I rarely do see that with A$AP Rocky. There are a few songs that, whether it was his song or not, I do see Wale not being the best rapper on that song. If for those of you who know, Wale was on the song No Hands with Waka Flocka and Roscoe Dash back in the day. Great verse, great classic song. Wale, like you said, had a great verse. Roscoe Dash bodied that man, though. Not gonna lie.
Verse.
He had a great verse. Roscoe Dash bodied that man. I'm not gonna lie. Wale on the Gifted album, featuring I'm blanking on the name of the song, but it was featuring Yo Gotti and Life Jennings. The man got bodied on that as well. He got bodied on that as well, Cayman. So there's just a few times where I do see One Train. He wasn't on there, Cayman. Every top rapper at that time was on One Train, but whose album was that on, Cayman?
A$AP's.
A$AP Rocky. Wale is a great rapper. He has at least one classic album to me. He has many classic songs. But again, Rihanna was the most important part of that song. So I'm just saying, whenever I love Wale, I love his music, I love poetry. But when it's the same feeling I get from Big Sean. It's the same feeling I'm getting from Reason. It's just I'm missing something, and when I hear you with another artist, it clicks. It's like, oh, there's just other people I like a little bit more. But regardless, like I said, Wale is one of the most consistent artists I have ever seen in my entire life. He has, I believe, 7 studio albums. 7 albums: Attention Deficit 2009, Ambition 2011, the Gifted album 2013, the album About Nothing 2015, which I think is his best album, his classic for me, Shine in 2017, Wow That's Crazy 2019, and Florin in 2021. And he has a ton of mixtapes as well. Ton of mixtapes. But to me, his best songs are with Rihanna, with Miguel, with Jeremiah. Are you catching the pattern? His best and my favorite songs are usually with another artist, and he's typically not my favorite artist on that song. So I'm gonna just let you have that whole time.
Right, I like this. I like
ASAP
this.
Rocky, we'll just jump into it too. ASAP Rocky, is he the most consistent rapper? No. ASAP Rocky only has 4 albums. But y'all let J. Cole get away with it. So I'm letting Rocky get away with it. And we're including ASAP Mob. So I get the Cozy Tapes. So that's Cozy Tapes 1, Volume 1. Cozy Tapes 2, Volume 2. So that's a total of 6 albums. So we got Long Live ASAP 2013. At Long Last ASAP 2015. Testing, we don't talk about that, in 2018. And we're expecting it, Don't Be Dumb, in this year as well, 2025. Now, Long Live ASAP, I'm not going to say is a classic album. That is a cult classic album for sure. Cult classic album that really put the ASAP Mob at the forefront of hip hop at that time. Now, At Long Last ASAP 2015, that is a classic. And even though even though I talk my fair share of mess about Testing, if you really go back to it, it's not a bad album. It's just we weren't trying to hear all that at that point. And maybe it was ahead of its time, dare I say. But overall, Testing was a solid album. Testing was solid. Testing was a solid album, Cayman. And that alone, we have a tie. Because Wale got 1 classic album for me. ASAP Rocky got 1 classic album for me. But since we're including the Cozy Tapes, ASAP Rocky has at least 2 classic albums.
Let me know when it's my turn.
It's whenever you want to attend the funeral.
That was great, Xavier. I have to commend you for your case for ASAP Rocky, but let me just get a few points out there right off the bat. Xavier, come on, man. Like, you really gonna do this?
Yeah.
You really gonna do this?
I didn't cuss one time.
Yeah. ASAP Rocky, somebody who I think unequivocally could have been the 3rd best rapper of this generation if he stayed in the rap element and actually did what the other 2 of his generation who I thought was ahead of him, Kendrick and Drake. At that moment, I thought those 2 were ahead of him in the rapping ability, but if he would have stayed the course and actually wanted to pursue the rapping at that level that Drake and Kendrick did, I think he would have been on that level. And I think ASAP Mob and what ASAP Rocky did in those early days was incredible. So let me start there. So your first point was ASAP Rocky made a pop record with who?
Did y'all watch Wizard of Waverly Place growing up? Queen Gomez?
Selena Gomez.
Selena?
In 2009, Xavier, Wale had a song with Lady Gaga. I just want you to know that he had the push to be with the pop star for a long time. Wale has had that push. Wale has been talented enough to pursue other genres, artists, and pop stars in the future. Now, that was just a little bit boom, boom, boom. You also want to talk about Wale's feature run. Wale has been on some of the greatest hip-hop songs in the past 10, 15 years. Xavier, you want to tell the audience what happened with A$AP Rocky on Ruby Rosary?
What do you mean what happened with A$AP Rocky on Ruby Rosary?
Who had the better verse?
Okay, that's not fair. Okay. That's not fair, Cayman, because Wale was on a song with Roscoe Dash. A$AP Rocky was on a song with J. Cole. And not only did I believe he held his own, he put up a good fight.
He did not hold his own on that song.
I believe he did. Now, did he have the best verse? No, not at all. Cole cleaned up on that song. But A$AP Rocky didn't sit down and get beat up.
Xavier, who had the best verse on Effing Problems featuring Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and 2 Chainz?
Arguably 2 Chainz. Keep it real with you. Arguably changed.
So from 2014 to now, when it comes to having the main rappers on his songs, ASAP Rocky has never performed on features.
I wouldn't say perform. He's not getting washed, Cayman. He's not getting washed on
If
songs.
his wife got on a feature with him,
Who?
Rihanna, you know he's getting washed.
I forgot that was his dang wife. Of course, because she also washed who came in on Bad? Wale. So yeah, Rihanna would most definitely wash A$AP Rocky. She already washed Wale.
His verses were great on that song.
Oh, now we want to talk about him putting up a fighting chance.
His verses were greater than Big Sean's verses.
No.
Yes.
No.
Drop it to the floor, make that ass shake. Whoa. Make the ground move. That's an ass quake.
That's Big Sean.
That's what I'm saying. His verses
That's,
were better than Big Sean's verses on classic songs.
Everybody has better versions than Big Sean.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, Big Sean is classified. This is another point that I'm making. Big Sean is classified as the fourth best rapper of this generation, and Wale is better than him.
Who classified that? Who said that?
A lot of people.
Nobody said that, David. Nobody said Big Sean is the fourth best rapper of this generation.
A lot of people say that.
Who said that?
A lot of people.
Nobody said that, Cayman. Nobody said that, Cayman. And nobody said that after listening to Sorry Not Sorry or Sorry for You But Not For Me. Nobody said that, Cayman. Big Sean is the fourth best rapper of this generation.
Yes.
I would agree with you that that Big Sean is a better rapper than Wale. Is Big Sean a better artist than Wale? No. But I would, like, if I had to start a team around somebody, I would pick Big Sean over Wale.
And this is where I'm going to go. Hits. Xavier, you...
Hits?
Are you serious, Xavier? Xavier.
But you love commercial.
I don't love commercial, but Lotus Flower Bomb featuring Miguel, Bad featuring Rihanna, Chillin', Lady Gaga, Ambition, Meek Mill, Rick Ross, The Matrimony featuring Usher, My PYT featuring Nobody. How about that? No Hands, Waka Flocka, Wale, Roscoe Dash. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's over a period of time. And what I want to say lastly about the Wale album that he released, I believe it's called Forlorn, and let me look it up right now. It was the last Wale album that he released. Yes, Forlorn. I think that was one of my favorite Wale projects, and for him to drop that in 2021 showed me that he can still get better as an artist. And even though Blanco is not a lyrical expedition, it's showing me something different from Wale. And I love this record that was just released on March 19th, 2025. Blanco is one of my favorite records of this year. Solid record. And if you listen to it over and over and over again, you're going to listen to it over and over and over again. A$AP Rocky took himself out of a music battle or debate a long time ago of his own fruition. I do think he was on the trajectory to be in conversations like this, but you just have to look at the consistency of what an artist has did over the span of 15 years, and you have to give Wale that credit and that position based off his consistency alone of I'm still making music at a high level. A$AP Rocky hasn't made music at a high level since 2015-14.
I wouldn't say he hasn't made a music at that high of a level, because we do see him giving those glimpses with Ruby Rosary, and he did drop another song earlier that
right, I remember
in 2024 as well.
Yeah, great video and all that.
Right.
Visuals are always on point.
But with that consistency, and like you mentioned, those are some great songs to have in your catalog. But that comes with that consistency of staying in that pocket for years. But even with that 15 years of consistency, I would still argue that A$AP Rocky has been more influential within his 5-6 years. ASAP Rocky might not have.
Don't give him 5 years.
What do you mean?
2011
to 18.
You're not counting testing. You're not. I'm
That
not,
was
not allowing you to count testing.
We loved Rocky until testing.
And what did he release in 2017, 2016?
At long,
your cozy tapes.
Yeah, and I'm counting ASAP Mob, I'm counting Cozy Tapes because we love the Cozy Tapes as well. Lamborghini High. Don't let me get in that bad game. Lamborghini High. But even if we just keeping it ASAP Rocky,
Ferg had the best
we got of course ASAP Ferg is the best off of the ASAP Mob. I've been trying to tell y'all that since 2010. Y'all don't listen. But we got M's with Lil Wayne. We still got One Train, Effing Problems, Wild for the Night with
Effing
Skrillex.
Problems where he got washed.
He stole the song. That's what you say about Mercy. But One Train, Wild for the Night with Skrillex. And then we got the Lamborghini High. We still got Goldie, which really set it off.
Bro, we have No Hands, Lotus Flower Bomb, and Bad.
Yes.
That's a crazy 3.
I agree. But
your 3 doesn't beat that 3.
It's different, though, because they're different artists. So
Yes.
Rocky's hits are higher songs like that. The higher echelon of those songs are going to be more rapper songs like One Train and Effing Problems.
He does have One Train.
And we can both say that if we're just talking about rappers, we're not talking about who's the best poet, who's the best
musically? Yes, it's Wale. I would if you want to give the rap element.
Well, now we're changing the conversation. Who's the best artist? Who has the most shit? Who has the best artistry? I'm still going ASAP Rocky.
Stop.
I'm still going ASAP Rocky. The visuals for early ASAP Mob,
Visuals, yes.
undeniable. They set trends. What trend did Wale set in his career, Cayman? He used the show that he used a show that neither one of us watched.
But a lot of people watched it.
A lot of who? And that's no disrespect to Wale, but it's just like he is great at what
love that
he's
album
great
too.
at what he does. That is a great album. It's a classic album. He's great at what he does. But when we start to try to compare him to other people in that field, he's not really doing similar things. So if we're trying to compare ASAP Rocky and freaking Long Live ASAP and the Cozy Tapes to the album about nothing and Florin 2, that's kind of two different bodies of work. And if we're just going off of perception and what I like, honestly, there are a few artists who are similar to Wale that I prefer to listen to than Wale. As great as his music is, he's just not an artist that I went back to consistently like that. He does have No Hands. He does have Bad. But how long ago was that, Cayman? And when was the last time Wale really had that type of song that really...
But that's why I say I love the Florin album, because there was a lot of records on this Florin album and released in 2021 that I really, really loved. I really loved Name Mel Ring. I really loved Tiffany Nikes. I really loved Caramel. I really loved Fluctuate. So there were songs on his last album as a true Wale fan that I really did come to enjoy. Did the public audience see Wale as what I see Wale as? No, and that's what's lost in translation. I do think what you're saying, bigger peak, higher impact as far as impact on hip-hop itself.
You love impact.
ASAP.
You love
undeniable.
impact. You love impact,
It's undeniable. Like, this is why I say he could have been number 3.
Right.
He
So
could
why
have
are we-
been competing with Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
So why are we arguing over who's the 4th best
Because he
when
stopped-
you could agree that he was supposed to be the 3rd best?
Because he stopped and went to do fashion.
He
after
stopped and went to do
2014.
fashion, and I agree with you. ASAP Mob kind of went downhill with that. We know the last Cozy Tapes was like 2017. The last
2018,
ASAP
yeah,
Rocky
2017, 18,
album was
something
2018 with Testing, so they kind of ended at the same time.
Right.
But if we just look at what they have right now at face value, there's no way I can really listen to you say that Wale has been more influential to hip-hop than ASAP Rocky.
But more influential, better music.
So if Wale drops the album in 2025, and if we get the Rocky album in 2025, I would think that Rocky's album would be better. We play some numbers. Who's gonna do more numbers? I know that's what y'all love, numbers.
I mean, this man just beat a case.
On
It's
point, like
it's
ASAP really.
He just beat a case, so of
Yeah.
course, yeah, he just signed a deal with Ray-Bans, and his wife is a billionaire. But in a different world,
Oh, he's trying to do the buy allegations.
in a different world, in a
he said
different
his
world,
wife's a billionaire.
I just think Wale gets all the credit they deserve, but this is a good argument. I think Wale, ASAP Rocky, but as far as where that big three lies, and then who else is after them, I think that's a great conversation that we have. And it's an ongoing conversation, but I think that number 4 chair maybe moves. It moves between Travis. It moves between a Big Sean. It moves between a ASAP Rocky. It moves
Right.
between a Wale. It moves between a Meek Mill. It moves between. It's an ever changeable. It moves between people don't like to talk about, but when we really want to talk about errors, a Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? Like numbers, status, impact, and all that from we're talking about from 2011, 2009, Xavier.
Well, you think Nicki
she's
Minaj
been
needs to be in
relevant.
that 4 spot? If anything,
Future.
there's
There's a lot of people that deserve it, but yes, Nicki Minaj deserves that. Why are you?
I would say if anything, Nicki Minaj needs to be higher than 4.
Oh, okay, 1000% higher than J. Cole.
Like I've been
Higher than J. Cole.
I mean, I've been talking about that too and kind of saying that here and there, but like, I've always loved J. Cole. J. Cole has classic albums to me.
Right.
He is a top rapper, but I've kind of just been going along with what y'all been saying
With the big three.
with the big three. I never really technically put J. Cole in my big 3. I really didn't. I put Drake in there by default because I have to.
You have to, yeah.
But Cole, I feel like the 4th spot. I feel like that 3rd spot has really always been interchangeable. For some reason, we kind of all agreed that it was Cole. She's my number 1. I don't want nothing. I guess. I guess that was it. Kevin Hart was the one. He always been apologizing for people, but I don't know. That like you said, Mac Miller, Meek Mill, Wale, Wiz Khalifa. There are a lot of those 4, 5 spot rappers who arguably could have been deserving of that 3rd spot at any point in their career. Now, Wale has shown a lot more consistency than even rappers in the big 3. So I don't think we can use that consistency point as a reason why he needs to be in that 4 spot. He's more consistent than Kendrick. Look at your lip. Yeah. He's more consistent than Kendrick. So we can't really use that as the reason why he needs to be in that 4 spot. Like we talked about, we need to look at what has that music done. Yeah, A$AP Rocky got 4 albums and Wale got 7. Arguably, I think, out of those 4, Rocky has been more influential than Wale. Trends, sound, fashion, Rihanna. I just haven't seen that from Wale really at any point in his career. And even when we got No Hands and Bad and Lotus Flower Bomb, it was kind of just No Hands, Bad, and Lotus Flower Bomb, and nobody was really talking about any other song off of that album at that point. But when I say Goldie, there are multiple other songs off of that album that people enjoy other than Goldie. But if you put on
That's not a far.
If you put on his
that's
white
not a
tee,
fair criticism for Wale.
if you
though.
put on his White Tee side profile album, you're putting on Lotus Flower Bomb.
There's a lot of other good records on there though.
But that's not what you're putting on. Like
That's
I'm saying,
just
like
that record's just that good.
that is the song you go to that album for. A$AP Rocky has multiple songs that you would go to that album distinctly for. I feel like those hit songs that Wale gave us, 2 or 3 that you mentioned were features as well. One of which was not even his song. No Hands is not his song. That's Waka Flocka song. Two of those songs are not his came in, and like you said, he didn't even have the best verse on No Hands. I like Jeremiah. I like Rihanna when they are on those songs more than I like Wale, unfortunately. And for those reasons alone, I wouldn't even I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm trying to be nice. This is my blessed era. But I don't even think Wale's in that 4th or 5th spot.
Come on, man.
Like we said, we're not even really talking about Mac Miller. I would really put him at that 4. Then I would put then we would put ASAP Rocky at that 5. Big Sean at the 6. And then I would put Wale at that 7, Meek Mill at the 8.
So Big Sean.
We didn't even
goes
talk
before-
about Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa has been more influential
And that's why they
than
flamed
Big Sean.
You. That's why they flamed you in the comments. They're talking about. I should have walked off set after you said Wiz Khalifa over Wale.
Well, no.
You were just trolling and
I
weren't
was
even
trolling
being
when
real.
I said Wiz Khalifa should be number 4. I was trolling when I said Wiz Khalifa was the 4th best rapper of this generation, 100%. But if I had to start a franchise around one rapper, I'm picking Wiz Khalifa over Wale, 100%. He has been way more influential within his time frame, and he is nowhere near
You
consistent.
just going influence though, not music.
What do you mean? I'm going music and I'm going influence.
Musically, none of them can mess with Wale. That's all I'm saying. Musically,
What do you mean? How is
you have to-
ASAP Rocky not messing with Wale musically?
in the last 10 years, he's not.
Because he's consistent.
In the last
that's the
10
only
years,
reason.
he's not.
If we're okay,
In the last, you have to give that to
no,
him.
that's the
though.
only thing we can give to him, Cayman. But if that's the only reason or the main reason why somebody gets ranking, then we got to take Kendrick out of the big 3. He is not a consistent rapper.
But Kendrick called out the other 2 niggas that you qualify as the big 3, and then just slapped them niggas around. And
And
made
ASAP
them
Rocky was on a song with 5 of the best rappers of that generation and held his own. And who was not there, Cayman? Who did not get the invitation? Who was not? Who was also not called
He
out?
wasn't considered one of the best rappers at that time.
Who?
Cole.
Cole wasn't
In
considered.
2012. 2014, 15, 16, we really started seeing the maturation of Cole. So he was a quote-unquote late bloomer.
So when's Wale gonna bloom? And I love Wale. Don't get it twisted.
Right. And I'm ready for the album. We're going to see Don't Be Dumb and Wale's albums are both supposed to come out in 2025. So we will see which album
Don't try to say his wife's a billionaire.
does what.
Don't try to say his wife's a billionaire
You
when
know
that album
that's
did
exactly what I'm going to go to. You know that's exactly what I'm going to go to. People are going to want to listen to the A$AP Rocky album way more than they're going to want to listen to the Wale album.
good. And why, Cayman?
Because he was on point like A$AP Relly. And this is Everyday Hip Hop. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode. We will be back with more hip hop. Is anything coming out in the next couple months as far as hip hop goes that
Not
we
that
should be
I-
looking forward to?
Not that I can really think of, bro. I really haven't heard nothing. It's been really kind of slow.
Right.
I know Black Sheriff dropped an album. Skrillex got an album. Other than that, nah. Flying Lotus, Duckworth, nah. Looking like a slow week for us. We might have to tap into our pop bag, get into some Sydney Rose or Yondale. But other than that, if there's something you want us to check it out, let us know.
Let
Leave
us
it down
know
in the comments.
Yes, sir. All right. My name is Cayman.
And I'm Xavier, Team Rocky.
All right. Team Wale right here. And this is Everyday Hip Hop. I'm a ride with Wale to the wheels fall off, bro. Come on, man.
Crazy, man.